Himeko. Hey everyone and welcome back. It is time for us to check out the next improv tour trailer of Honkai Star Rail. I'm very excited. We are watching the Japanese version first and then the English one. Timestamps are in the description box below. So I would say without further ado, we are heading right in because it's very hot, so let's go. Ooh. With the Himeko's real father. Oh! That's the scene where he killed him. You lose your life, man. That the Belebog Museum? Ooh, backstory. Ouroboros. What did Elation do? Ay, addiction, chaos, madness, right? Ooh.
だがそのバカはまだ救いはあると考えてた。そして請求列車に乗り都合のいい夢を見た。開拓についていけば星々が答えてくれると。だが目に映る楽園はいつも人の手で地獄に変わる。そしてそんな地獄でこそ人間性は光り輝いていた。
Yeah, the cry of a baby.
アキビは運楽し開拓の嘘に。
Oh God! He started arguing. The swarm disaster. Oh.
アキビリは間違えた。必要なのは彼方への旅や楽園じゃない。俺が行くべき場所はここじゃない。
That's where he left.
果てで俺は見た。アドリブンの炎が星々を照らすの。
Oh God.
人よ、その尊厳を俺に見せてくれ。
And then he was transformed. That is crazy. And the music was so nice in the background. With the seeds of song. Himeko. Oh, and the trailblazer. Oh God. But the trailblazer. That is crazy. He just left him to die? What the hell? The grave scene. Baby Himeko. That's why he introduced himself like that. That is crazy. That was kind of a long-ass trailer. Bro, but there is so much. I think it's crazy that Asat Pramad's backstory is that he was a trailblazer as well, and that at the beginning he actually wanted to change the world. He wanted to bring the people laughter, but then he like kind of saw the true face of elation, and that elation can turn into like something like addiction, right? Because of the feeling of being elated, you know, and the cause for being elated can also be like bad things, you know, like murdering someone can be elating probably for some people, right? Or like being like addicted to alcohol, gambling and stuff like that is elation for some people, right? And I think it's like always kind of like insane with like Honkai's villains in some kind of way that they all have like decent reasons when they start a journey, you know, to like change something in the world, but then they are facing how the world really is, which turns them into villains. So at the end, he turned into this Lord Ravager only to like bring suffering to the world by himself, right? Instead of like facing it and not being able to do anything against it. I feel like that is kind of a crazy story, and it is like part of the Honkai Impact journey as well, you know, always like these bad people, but in the end, you know, they had like decent reasons in the beginning, but how they are perceiving their goal in the end is just bad, you know. That was very interesting. I really love that we like see more about like Asat Pramad, how he went from being a trailblazer to like being a Lord Ravager of the destruction. That was very interesting. Also, like how he introduced himself to Himeko, giving her the train toy, right? Because why would you give it to her if you would not want her to be part of the trailblaze, right? I feel like she was, because of Asat Pramad, like inspired to get the train running again, you know? I don't know, there is a weird connection because he also has a connection between like the Trailblaze and the Elation, you know? Also, like the whole Elation is that part. Maybe it is more like a representation of like how the world is turning out to be. And instead of joy, we have like this addictiveness, this like madness and chaos. And that is why the Elation is slowly dying in the cosmos, right? But anyways, we are heading on to the English version and watch it again, and maybe we will see some more. And there were like people in the background talking as well, and it's like always hard with the Japanese translations to like get everyone, because like the subtitles can't keep up with like millions of people talking. So yeah, I'm curious to hear that. Okay, so here we are, English version, let's go. I hope you guys don't hear my fan in the background, but it's like literally too hot to not have it on.
Are you have something in mind? Once the
I wonder where
question's
this
asked,
is.
you'll lose your life.
That is crazy.
Let's start with that naive fool. Back then, they called him En route. He thought he could bring happiness to the unfortunate.
I mean, he was a cute child, right?
Follow Aha and shut that gigantic beast's mouth. In the end, what did Elation bring?
But he said follow Aha.
Was it the survival of the fittest? Or maybe chaos and madness?
The shots are
Is
insane.
Aha dead? Over time, he lost his smile as well.
There is the
But
train.
that fool still wanted to be a savior. He boarded the Astral Express, brimming with optimism. Once I start trailblazing, the stars will bring answers.
I love that they use
Yet
like
all
the
he
orbs.
witnessed was people turning
show the
paradises into hell. But in hell, humanity shined all the brighter. Until one day, Akiviri fell, and trailblazing too became mine.
What should we do?
Punish the traitors and defend those
It is so
who
hard to hear sometimes what
As the
all of they are
navigator, He
saying.
started a game for the brave. In the endless night, only pain could choose the truly noble. Falcon Robinson, may you light the way for the Express.
How long is he
Akiviri
living
was wrong.
already?
The cosmos didn't need a horizon or a paradise. And my next stop didn't lie here. At the world's end, I saw Adlevin's flames illuminating the stars. Humans,
The golden blood.
show me your dignity. With my hands, I shall bestow a baptism of suffering. Only those who have undergone this trial shall
There is
So,
like literally so
look
much going on in
forward to
this
these
one trailer. It's
seeds I've
insane.
sown For a wonderful show of true elation.
He's
Just
just blowing up
imagine
the
the
express.
nameless setting off again, yet they push the trailblaze to its demise.
Yikes.
What a splendid joke.
So, who exactly are you?
I have no clue either. But this time, I'll just be a father.
It feels like Asat Pramad, since I think he was a masked fool in the beginning, right? It always feels like he's
still isn't
wearing
here.
like different masks, like
Sorry I'm
Sparkle,
late.
you know? He plays
Nice
different
to meet you,
roles.
Himeko. I am your father, Ryosuke. Do you
How
like
they
this kid?
say it in English is crazy.
Next time, I'll tell you some of the stories Daddy heard out there.
Did he plant her on the express on purpose? Maybe we thought that it was Himeko and she wants to like protect the express somehow and the trailblaze in general. But what if her getting on the train was also part of his plan? Because at the moment where Arkivili fell, it kind of like had a change, right? People were arguing on the express, right? And that's where he decided to leave it and seek for a different path where the universe could go, right? Because he said the cosmos didn't need a horizon or a paradise. So he thought he would find something better than those two. You know, I wouldn't say elation is like a paradise, you know, because we have already learned that elation can go into two different parts, right? It can also be like a bad thing or a bad influence. I also want to talk about like this scene. We have like typical Himeko picture, and then the mask turns over, and then we have the trailblazer, right? For a split second, we have the trailblazer here as the nameless, and then are there other pictures? But then it changed right into this, because I know people are like theorizing, or there are at least theories around where people say that we, the trailblazer, were possessed by Aha, or maybe a part of Aha when we got like the powers of elation. Maybe that's the reason why we didn't see Aha when we gained their powers, because usually the Aeons gaze upon us, right? And then we get our powers. It was different this time, so there is stuff up with Aha. I thought it was because they were like maybe weak after the fight with like Ouroboros, or maybe they were just funny, whatever. I don't really know if I mentioned this during the playthrough. I don't even know anymore. But very interesting to see like the city burning, right? And the trailblazer like gazing down on it. So maybe we will bring the downfall this time or whatever. As I said before, very interesting part with like Himeko. Maybe he trained her, the real Himeko, and that was also a reason for her to imaginate herself in some kind of way. I still don't know how she exactly did that, you know, because we have one shot where she has the scars of the weathering curse even as an imaginary or whatever creation she is, and now she doesn't. She clearly has no marks on her feet or whatever, you know. So don't know what happened there, but I guess the next patch will clear us up on that. But yeah, I think we didn't miss anything. I was just clicking through, seeing something, but I think I mentioned everything that I wanted to say, or I forgot it. I don't know. Maybe I will see something when I edit this video. But as I said before, it was very interesting. I really love this like backstory stuff, you know, how the Lord Ravages even came to become Lord Ravages, if that makes sense. I think that's very interesting to see how like innocent like Asat Pramad's reasons were in the beginning, and he traveled and traveled, and how he came to the conclusion to make just everyone mad and bring chaos. And maybe he shared like the sense that Nanook also has, like the sense of like the world or the humans doesn't deserve to be there. But anyways, guys, I have talked long enough in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for watching and for stopping by, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.